Okay. Welcome, degenerates, they, thems, non-binaries, people struggling with depression. You're obviously in crypto if that's what you're struggling with. Here I am. That's why I'm struggling with it. There's a there's a party happening in Hawaii with Silicon Valley CEOs, and you're not invited. There's also a crypto project that has completely rug pulled its entire community. And there's a gigantic trade that just went down that will reverberate throughout the halls of this country. All that and more, not on Around the Blockchain, but on Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're going to screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're going to get back below there. But if we do, that's kind of where we...
Welcome to Blockchain Basement. This is your place in the crypto space to get a whole bunch of information shoved into your face. Welcome. It is St. Patrick's Day. It has nothing to do with the freaking pot of gold. It has everything to do with a man who used to be a slave. He broke out of slavery and then he went back to his homeland and saved his people. And in the process, removed every snake out of Ireland.
Enslaved by whom?
I believe
Moors.
It was Moors. Yeah.
Wow.
There we go. We did it. We ripped the racial Band-Aid off of the show. It was in the first 30 seconds. Let's go into the basement. Drew, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling fantastic. It's Friday. Kind of pissed that Bitcoin did as I thought it would. And now I don't feel like DCAing. But other than that, I'm feeling real good, real nice.
Okay, good. Taco?
I'm feeling good. I put in a bunch of buy orders last night, earlier in the day as well. They all hit, so I'm up, so I'm happy.
I have not DCA'd yet, and I'm waiting for maybe a little bit dip this weekend, or I'll double my DCA next week. Always have an issue. After Bitcoin's pumped like 25% in 30 days, maybe I'll pause DCAing for a week or two.
Got it. And then we have a brand new... have you been on the show before?
One time.
Okay, not when I was hosting, so technically you haven't had the full experience.
Yeah.
Give us introduce yourself.
My name is Ray. I guess I am the representative for the viewers out there. I'm I guess I'd be the avatar of the hoi polloi.
There you go.
Pawn of the proletariat, if we want to be dialectic.
Look, we all are until we're not.
All right, we get it, your basement.
We get it. We get it. Crypto Thorn says, not green, Nick. Bro.
That's pretty green.
This is green. This
That's
is like,
olive green.
this is an understated lichen.
Understated lichen. Look how green we are today. How
right.
did you say we're not green?
So
speaking of understated lichens, we got some good beards going on today. Good facial hair.
This is the best facial hair showing we've ever had.
Swarthy episode.
Drew, you've got some, right?
I cut it mostly off.
They look.
Yeah.
That's very Chris Cornell of you.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Right?
Like a stone.
Right?
Like a stone.
Like a stone. Like a stone. Okay. Before we get into major...
Can we just go off rails for 1 second? Remember when
this whole show is off the rails.
Remember when the older people remember when Like a Stone first dropped?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, it's the new song. This guy, he was the former frontman, a huge band. You're going to love it. And then the song, the guitar solo insisted upon itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just too much. It took me 20 listens before I was a fan of that
song. But Cochise... that song slaps.
Yeah.
Coaches, if you ever want to get ready to go to the gym, because here's the thing, I'm going to go off on a gym rant here. All right. I'm of the position that if you require pre-workout to go to the gym, you're a tiny little man boy, pee-pee baby, diaper baby.
Okay? Or just over caffeinated.
Or just, you need to, the only pre-workout you should need is your own internal motivation. This is, I'm top G.
The lion that lives inside
you. The lion that lives inside. Okay. Right, if you have never gone to the gym before without pre-workout, you have not done a workout.
Taco, what's
That's
your
all I gotta say. Taco may know a thing or two about this. Taco, what's your rebuttal?
Actually, I kind of agree. I early on in my lifting career, I took every supplement in the book, and I really didn't see that much of an increase in gains or anything that substantial, and it's just a money pit. So literally, I don't even take pre-workout other than like a Bang energy drink. And when it comes to protein, I don't take any protein powder. I just eat my food.
Are you natty?
I'm natural. All natural.
Bro, he's natty.
On that note, I used to be a bartender and a bouncer, and I worked out of the same gym as a lot of bouncers. And I remember there's this group of bros. There's 4 of them. They always showed up clearly juicing. They're injecting steroids into their buttocks probably all together as a train, And so I remember them. I was seeing them. They're huge. They're jacked. And then one day there's 3 of them, and I'm working out next to them, and they're talking shit about the guy that didn't show up. And that guy was the smaller guy. And they were essentially saying, you know what? He said he didn't feel like going today. What he doesn't understand is you have to go on the days you don't feel like going. And that's the only way, because it's not about motivation. It's about dedication. You can't motivate yourself 365 days a year.
Look
Jim
at
Bro
this.
represent.
Shout out Razmataz. We will be going over Arbitrum. Don't worry. Yeah. Look, Taco you were a professional bodybuilder, right?
For a few years, and then I turned into a personal trainer, and then now I'm in a crypto company.
Didn't realize we were buying tickets for the gun show tonight.
Got it.
9. Jeez.
Nice. Okay. Well, I got to do my shout out. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Twinspired. Kush is my cologne. Mike Olin, Anthony. That's up in the attic. Kino, Sincere. I'm not going to say that one.
Yeah, you, Nick.
I know. Wait, what did he say? After 12 hours of work, then the gym, I'm okay with taking pre-workouts and the criticism from a guy who doesn't look like he works out. I don't even have to dignify that with a response. Anyways, Crypto Tony, Chemistry Bro, Mr. Techno Goody, Rug Gang, Joe Stonkman, Dude, What Does Mine Say, Pa Earth King, Urkelson, Mr. Jojo, Ryzen, JM. Yeah, I mean, looks like I've triggered some people, but you know what? It's not a blockchain basement unless someone is triggered.
I liked that we did the call out of the name like not immediately at the beginning, so they didn't know when it was coming. So they had to you never know.
We had to continue to let that mojo rise.
Yeah.
The mojo was rising.
Dude, if we start talking about music, ride the snake. She's long.
Doors is overrated is what we're saying.
What?
Yes.
Bro, the freaking, what is it? Queens of the Stone Age playlist I have for the gym. Start off with like Mexicola, bro. And then you end the gym. You end that track or that whole like playlist with The Great Southern Trendkill by Pantera, and you are ready to lift all the weights. I can tell you that. That's your all the pre-workout you need is Pantera, Slayer, and Queens of the Stone Age. There you go. Okay, before we get into the markets.
Just smoke crack.
Or that. Before we get into the markets, here we go.
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Jameis Winston is now back up to Derek Carr, baby. You're looking at Nick DeMundi. I am the Raider Nation representative here. And now we've got Derek Carr, who was shafted so hard by the organization in Las Vegas. Now he is on a real team. He's about to run a train on all the Southern teams. No one can stand in his way. So, look, the Falcons will not win a Super Bowl. They will not win a division. They will not win a conference as long as this man is on the Saints. So, RIP.
Okay.
Any NFL comments before we move on?
I mean, I'm from Bronco Nation, so
looks like
we got fighting words going on here.
Oh God, dude, did you see the video of Sierra at the whatever awards that everyone was freaking out about?
Sierra? No. Is it another one?
That's his wife.
Dude,
that's Russell Wilson's
don't
wife.
don't show that picture. We will clearly get demonetized.
We will not be demonetized.
Dude,
this is.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
Yeah. No, we're off topic. Anyways, let's look at the markets.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
look at the markets. What's going on here, folks? All right, Bitcoin broke 25, broke 26. We're staring down 27K. Frank says we have another low volume pocket coming up. So, I mean, I don't trade because I don't have the patience and or the ability to give it the attention it deserves. Does anyone else here trade? Is
Well,
anyone
I
else
have,
looking at these
I have
levels?
a comment on volume pockets specifically because I think
okay.
even smarter traders than me don't think about this because this is a second or third order consequence. With volume pockets, there's only going to be one typically. Now, the majority of a volume pocket is going to be the closest levels above and below. And then they say, guys, I'm looking at the volume pocket above, say we're at 24K. They're going, guys, this volume pocket's at 25. There's not another volume pocket to 44,000. Or, they'll say some number like, oh, it's all the way to 30 something. The second it exceeds 25K and is comfortably in this 26K, a new volume pocket will be created. So don't just set it and forget it when it comes to volume pockets, because a new one, I'm making a prediction, is going to coming in at those June and July lows of 21, which was 28,500. And so you're going to see a new volume pocket grow around the 28, 29K range.
I also have something to add to that. Depending on how many candles your VRVP reads, it could be something different if it's 200 candles or 100 candles, or like DZ's saying, it could be a jump all the way up to 30K or 45K or whatever it is. So you got to kind of extend your chart out so you can see the different levels and the volume profiles.
It's a great point. Yeah, don't look at 6 months of data. So the June, July lows, we're almost approaching. We're like at 20 months back. So you really have to extend that time period.
Ray, how about you? You doing any trading?
I do on a much larger time frame, because I think that there's the ones that are looking to scalp and they're looking for day trading. And that, to me, unless you are dialed in the way that you guys are, it is just far too dangerous for me. I try to look at the general trends and look that we're in a market that, especially for the altcoins, because I'm more of an altcoin guy, we're at probably 80%, 85, 90% devalued from the all-time highs. So I'm less concerned about a 2 or 3 month move, and was really heavily DCAing, if not kind of jumping all in over the last 6 months, because I know that if I try to time the exact bottom or trying to time things on the days, I'm going to get wrecked. And I have in the past when I foolishly like, yeah, I can do this. No, I can't. I absolutely cannot. And so for me, it's all right. This is where calling the general market bottom, listening to TJ and Ben and just looking at some of their metrics. Sure, we could take another big leg down, but the bigger thing for me is, okay, if I can buy at 90% discounts for a lot of my favorite coins, like the bank coins, the ISO coins, then I'm considering myself to be way ahead of the game and make sure my bags are packed.
Yep. I'm really just, I just kind of swing trade, like this little bag of like $200 that I've got that goes up to like 500 and then goes down to 80. And that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. I'm doing the same thing. I had a little $500 on KuCoin that fell to 200, and then now it's 400. And it's me. It's like I have a little bit of fun trading some Bitcoin. It's not what I'm going to try to do a down payment on a home with. It's more about moving my dopamine levels. Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
In the last probably 3 months, the most leverage trading I've done has been on Arbitrum, to try and get an airdrop. I did over like 10,000 volume.
You're getting ahead. You're getting ahead. Hang on. We will get to that. We've got a bunch of that stuff coming up.
Whoa. What's wrong with Pepsi over Coca-Cola?
Hey. So someone was at Arrow Ace was asking me for my OP prediction. So again, TJ is far more responsible with this channel. I am not. So everything I say is financial advice. If it's good or bad, that is TBD. Okay. So let's see here.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. So look, if it gets to basically optimum, this is what I use. This is called thecoinperspective.com. Realistically, I think OP can see a low double-digit market cap, like around Polygon type of market cap.
Yeah.
I think Polygon, I don't think it's going to get, what is Polygon's currently? Polygon's is 10 billion. I don't think Polygon's going to get to a triple-digit market cap for the next bull run, just because of things like Arbitrum, because of things like OP is going to take some of the wind out of its sails. But OP is a 10x, right? Like we're all kind of like DCAing into these 10x coins because we can't always look for the 500x coins. We can't always look for the 50x coins. Like it's easier to find 10x coins than it is those 2 500x coins. So OP is, for me, it makes a ton of sense to buy into this. I'm also DCing into Polygon. I'm not DCing into Arbitrum. We're going to get more into Arbitrum later. But fellas, what do we think? We're going to go around the blockchain.
I'm agreeing with that. I think, we're DCAing into a lot of these 10Xs, and I think some of the previous movers, or I'm sorry, the coins that are around the previous cycle, their market cap is so large today, maybe the 10X will be from when Bitcoin was 16,000. What was that price target? Then maybe a 10X from there. I think Polygon, it would be pretty difficult for it to do a 10X. I think it is possible, but it's just like when you look at the amount of that market cap, it's going to be somewhat difficult. But very, very possible. You get some national Starbucks, royalty, loyalty,
Nintendo.
rewards, Nintendo, Pokemon. Like, who knows what might happen? But I could definitely see an optimism pulling a 10X before Polygon. But maybe I'll eat my words. I don't know.
Okay, Ray, what do you think?
I think one of the biggest things is looking at utility coins. And if you're going to DCA in on anything, and that's what I learned from before, is meme coins or stuff. It's like, yeah, it might potentially hype, but so much of it just depends on where you are and where you're planning to go. Like TJ, I think, gives fantastic advice when he says, I've listened for the past 6 months where he talks about ETH and Bitcoin, and that's where he'd put, and then maybe like 5 or 10% and into some alts. Oops. But if you didn't see a big pump or a big push in the last bull run, ETH, to DZ's point, probably isn't going to 15 or 20x. So you could put it in. It's a safe investment. But if you're looking for the life-changing gains, which a lot of people are, then looking at something like XDC or Casper, I think with that different kind of upside, it's really just dictated by what happened the last bull run and where are you now and where are you hoping to get.
And my thesis statement about the 10X from Bitcoin at 16K also applies to ETH. ETH hit $950 or 800 actually, 880, 850-ish. So I could see it hitting 8,500. So a lot of the older, if you're around in especially 2017, if you're around in 21 and you're kind of already moving, doing your thing, maybe a 10X from when Bitcoin was 16K.
Taco, I'll go to you real quick. I do want to add that OP right now, I think one of its gating factors is it's only a governance token. Like, it doesn't really serve any other purpose on the Optimism chain except for governance. If that changes, then the whole metric changes. So, Taco, what do you think?
As far as like Optimism let's say it's September of 2025. Things are going bananas. Bitcoin's at $200,000. Which I honestly think is in the chips. Where is Optimism? I'm gonna say $18. Why not? I saw
so you're a little more bearish.
It compared to Litecoin, wasn't it like $17 for Litecoin?
Okay. 6x.
Yeah, 6x from here. Yeah,
a safe bet.
Yeah,
let's see.
Yeah, I would agree.
The new guy looks like Elias from WWE. I don't watch wrestling. Could we pull up that picture? I'm pretty.
Yeah, we need Elias. Welcome. Who's seen music? WWE. Just subscribe. Tier 1. Welcome.
Yeah, that's the thought I did have, Chemistry Bro. If they switch and make it a gas token instead of just using Ethereum, that could be a way for the coin to go up way more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's gonna require less tokens are going to be in the supply if it's used for gas.
Drew, what do you think? OP
$30.
Hey,
top of the market.
All right,
I YOLO'd in. I don't care.
Good job.
Sad.
Wake Dog, that is a trash garbage chain that is for smooth-brained incels.
Talking about Optimism?
No, Wake Dog up in the attic.
Oh, I got to find out. Everyone look.
His super chat.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait,
Yeah.
I just see Hex.
Yeah.
Pulse chain, pulse
That's what I was talking about.
Discuss. I think it's
There's
coming out
nothing
in
to
2023. I saw it. I saw Richard Hart and his dev team on GitHub for like the first time in a while. So that's positive for Pulse Chain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hugely. Yeah, just so
bullish.
So bullish.
You know what I noticed too is like when we have a lot of market uncertainty, I feel like Richard Hart somehow is able to keep Hex like above everything else, where you hit like 24-hour and it's the only coin that's up when everything else is like crashing and burning.
Is it because
the
he's a
Gucci
natural
bags.
promoter?
Good marketing.
Is he a natural promoter? I mean, yeah.
No, he is. But is it because he's a natural promoter? I mean, some guys are just wired that way.
Yeah, I mean, he loves to go against the grain and call out people for anything they do or say. So I like that. I mean, he calls them out, so that's good.
I'm still waiting on my $3,000 Bitcoin. I was told there would be $3,000 Bitcoin.
Told by Richard Hart.
For it.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah, you'll wait a while.
Yeah.
Let's get into some news. Party in Hawaii.
Oh.
SVB CEO who sold $3.5 million worth of shares is spotted in Hawaii, maybe starting his own polycule. I don't know.
Maybe looking for a birth certificate.
Maybe looking for birth certificates. Greg Becker ran the firm until its collapse. Has been spotted in Hawaii. Becker and his wife, Marilyn Bautista, has retreated to their $3.1 million Maui townhouse days after the banker left the deceased institution. I am deceased. Becker appeared unconcerned with the money despite the recent turmoil. The couple rode in a limo to the San Francisco airport on Monday. They booked first-class tickets to their idyllic island destination.
Island.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only 2 weeks before SVB filed for bankruptcy, the CEO sold a butt ton of shares for about $3.5 million. Furthermore, the SVB shareholders are suing Becker and CFO Daniel Beck. Shareholders claim that to hid information about the company becoming sensitive to a bank run due to rising interest rates. Wow. This just in, bankers are pieces of shit. Is this even a news article?
You know what I also heard? Yeah. I don't know if it's true or not. Did he give out bonuses like right before they crashed?
Yes.
What the hell?
It's sick.
Can you trust somebody whose wife doesn't take his last name?
Yeah.
That's fired.
Yeah.
Look, saying
I
he's
think the
beta,
guy's a dirtbag. I think it was bad what happened, obviously, but I think it's disingenuous of us to say that this $3 million and say another million here and another $3 million, that $10 million was going to make any difference when there's a mass withdrawal of tens of billions of dollars. It's a 1,000-to-1 ratio there.
Yeah, correct.
So again, dirtbag, he's wrong, shouldn't have done it. They should probably claw back those executive bonuses, but it's not moving the needle on whether or not that bank collapsed.
No, it's really not. It's really
but
not.
it might going forward. I mean, to your point, and you are correctly saying there should be a clawback, but it shows a psychological disposition for the malfeasance that they don't care because there's no repercussions for them, and in fact, they are rewarded. If he walked away with 8 figures instead of 9 or 10 figures, it's still, I think, the general principle. So I think you're absolutely correct for the clawback. It's a drop in the ocean for what was actually lost. But if these guys are going to be rewarded for being villains, then they'll go ahead and keep being villains.
Maybe they could have told about the public about how upside down their investments were before it collapsed, so other like regular plebes could have known and also sold their shares.
Well, they tried to, right? Like this. I don't think it was this guy, but one of their executives, like I think it was 3 weeks ago, sent basically an email that said, LOL, we've been raw dogging your investments for the past 8 months, but it's fine. Yeah. And that was not well received, and that's what caused the bank run for SVB. But yeah, it just goes, this is like one small example of how, there's just a mindset change. Like he saw the building, he saw the fire in the theater, and he didn't call for it, and he just left with his bag of money.
Yep.
And yeah, Jenny Yellen, did he know that Jenny Yellen was going to bail him out? We don't know that's all conjecture at this point, but they did, right? Yeah. Like, did he know that, wow, a lot of our deposits are from Chinese venture capital with direct ties to the CCP. There's no way that the feds are going to let the CCP take a direct hit like this. We'll probably get bailed out, and he might have done that math in his head and then just bounced. Yeah. So,
well, and he may not, and in some ways have thought that he was doing necessarily anything wrong. People are amazing at being able to sort of subjectively contextualize things. I mean, no one thinks they're wearing the black cape and that they're the villain. And in their mind, they were saying, yeah, well, we haven't officially defaulted. So if I'm doing this, it's absolutely legal. And because I could make the argument there hasn't been a legal or fiduciary declaration that we're not in compliance. So this is absolutely 100% above board. Sure, in hindsight, maybe it would look bad if things went bad, but maybe things won't. So I'm probably justified in doing this. I mean, no one thinks like, yeah, I definitely want to go the Martha Stewart route and end up going to jail, or yeah, I'm going to be Alex Mashinsky or Madoff.
Still not in jail.
Yeah. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I want to get like someone. I made a comment, some pithy comment that said, "Why did the SEC let this happen?" And then they said, "The SEC doesn't have anything to do with how banks are run." And on the surface, like I understand what they're trying to say. Like, yes, the SEC does not regulate banks, but the SEC regulates securities, and treasuries are a security, bonds are a security, and I would think it would be in their purview when they see a bank like SVB that's completely upside down on their securities the way they were. They wouldn't at least, like, I don't know, send them a Slack message,
Yeah,
be like, "Hey,
and,
bro."
you know, just to unpack that a little bit for the people watching at home, they have these long hold to maturity debt, right? They must hold to maturity, and it could be 10 years. A lot of them are 10 years, and the problem was, well, they needed money now. They couldn't wait 10 years, so they have to hurry up and sell at a loss. It is lax accounting principles for us to not have to say that, hey, we actually checked our assets and it's $161 billion less than what we thought. That is a true number that came from Bank of America yesterday. And so once they looked at the hold to maturity, oh, well, the actual market value is $160 billion less than what it really is. And so, yeah, that is boils down to the SEC's, maybe not getting good guidelines. But I don't know if that'd be GAAP or.
But I think if we have a government or a system of governance, maybe is another way of saying that, claims to take responsibility and have absolute control over everything.
Yeah, they're asleep at the wheel.
Then when something goes wrong, we're entitled to say, hey, you guys said you control everything.
Yeah,
you
the
guys
San Francisco
have,
Fed chair was the one. She should have been the one that was on top of this.
Yep.
I forget her name, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of bad policy and being asleep at the wheel, deposit-based bailout is bad policy. Regional banks continue to slump after Ackman warns of false sense of confidence. Again, this is from Zero Hedge. Shout out to Zero Hedge for their absolutely stellar reporting.
Yes.
These guys give no fucks. So for a few brief hours yesterday, some market participants breathed a sigh of relief as quote unquote big banks threw $30 billion of deposits to quote unquote small banks, specifically First Republic, and saved quote unquote the world. This morning, despite a RRR cut from the Chinese, reality is setting in with the FRC, PacWest, and the rest of the sector is sliding fast.
Those are some fun graphs. Look at
Yeah,
this
I mean, what is this? The Shiba Inu chart?
No, that's traditional finance.
Yeah.
Thinking it's okay. Oh, wait, we're still out.
This is a transitory problem for sure. Obviously, a massive uptick in volumes across the regional banks, but it's also become a retail hunting ground for this past week. FRC topped the most actively traded names on Fidelity today. Are these the new AMCs and GMEs? The problem that Pershing Square's Bill Ackman highlighted in a tweet is simple: spreading the risk of financial contagion to achieve a false sense of confidence in First Republic Bank is bad policy. Spreading the financial risk contagion to achieve. I don't know if I agree with that, actually. $30 billion deposit infusion by the big banks raises more questions than it answers, he explained, adding that, I have said before that hours matter. We have allowed days to go by. Half measures don't work when there are crises of confidence. I think that's all we've got. We need to stop this now. Who says this?
This is still him. Still him. He went on a rant.
Oh, we are beyond the point where the private sector can solve the problem and are in the hands of our government and regulators. That's so, I don't know. I don't like this guy's take, actually. So one thing is for sure, this is far from over as Credit Suisse, a real sci-fi. What is that?
Let me say this, is there an underlying motivation here by Bill Ackman? I don't know. I'm not going to try to pretend to be a mind reader, but if I was a billionaire and I see a regional bank go under, then I can buy these hold to maturity debts at pennies at the dollar. Seems like a great opportunity for me if I was a billionaire. Oh, Bill Ackman. Isn't he a billionaire?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got a billion.
Well, yes, for a certain group of people, buying these distressed assets at a huge bargain seems like a great idea. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there with his incentives.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what he wants, a financial contagion so he can buy some cheap assets.
Yep.
I'm not saying he wants that. I don't know though.
It happens. It happens.
It does happen.
We've
weird. Seen the track record of other billionaires do that.
Yeah. Sad.
All right.
Where's Jay Chains? Every day people ask about it. Go watch this breakfast show. We still like Jay Chains.
First thing in the morning. He's on.
I think he's moving to Texas or something like that.
Yeah. He's back up.
Are there any questions in the chat? We don't have our lovely assistants anymore. It's just, easy.
I mean, there's a lot of people arguing if Hex is a scam or not still, but
all right. Well,
that's going to work itself out.
Mods, you can put people in timeout if they keep on talking about Hex and derailing the chat. So Crypto Stevo, Mike Vollmer, I empower you to put some people in timeout. Don't ban them. Just put them in timeout.
Yeah. Sad.
We probably don't have any articles about it. I am going to be keeping an eye out for questions. I'll throw some out there.
Okay.
I've been seeing a little battle brewing between the tech bro investors and people who like economists, traditional economists. Seems like there's a lot of pointing of fingers and people are saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." Balaji is the recent one.
Yeah.
Him and Nassim Taleb are arguing on Twitter, and that's been pretty fascinating.
That's always good.
I love seeing that.
Yep. Amax Gaming 117. What's the utility for Hex? Nothing. Moving on.
It's free speech.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I want my coins to do something. Nah, I don't.
Price go up.
Hey, I sacked for Pulse. I'll admit it.
Yeah,
you sacked for Pulse
0.1.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it was like $3K then, so what, $300 bucks? I was like, I'll do a couple few hundred bucks here.
All right,
a little bit.
So got a tweet here from Macro Alf. QE.
I put this one up because I didn't agree with it. So
QE takes bonds away from the system for an indefinite amount of time. It removes collateral and duration risk for the private sector. The BTFP. What is that?
That's the new system that the feds used in emergency response to the bank collapses last week. They created a new way of doing quantitative easing, and this guy's trying to differentiate the two. So
that program lends money against the collateral for a fixed period of time.
But that makes sense on the surface to me.
QE sucks collateral and duration. Okay.
And BTFT strengthens collateral. So there's a problem with this. That BTFP is actually pulling from the International Monetary Fund, and it's using nationalized collateral that the IMF uses for second and third world countries that are at risk, but it can be used for the United States in extreme emergency situations. And this guy is basically differentiating the two, basically saying that QE is the more traditional, bonds taken away from the system for an indefinite amount of time, and this BTFP is completely different, but it's just more borrowed money to add to the books in a new way. So it's a way for them to basically have a new instrument of quantitative easing, but not have to call it quantitative easing. It's really sad what's going on right now. A lot of gaslighting.
I would say there's a little bit of a distinction, though, because you get quantitative easing. It means you can borrow money and you can do more stuff with it. So you borrow that money, you might do anything with it. And I understand what you're saying here. Well, they're still borrowing money that they still might do anything with it, but is specifically tied to these hold to maturity, debt investments that they have.
It is a new vehicle.
It's a little bit better than toxic mortgages.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say it's not it is different, but I think that the road still leads to Rome at the end of the day because we
just had the tides of March 2 days ago.
Right. So sad, sad, very sad. I don't know. I get a little pissed off at these macro finance people that try to use some kind of baseline monetary reason and logic in our current situation, because that's kind of out of the door. And, in reasonable terms, we should default on a lot of things. And there should be time frames where these things are paid off, but it's not. As long as our Navy is controlling trade on the water, it's not controlled that way. So we're in clown world, and a lot of them don't see it, in my opinion. But
Danny from Markets Unmasked. Here's his tweet. U.S. banks borrowed a record $164 billion from the Federal Reserve this past week. Oh, I got it now. Number 1, bank takes your money. Number 2, bank makes risky bets. Number 3, bank doesn't have your money when you want it. I feel like we're again on a monkey banana.
All right, so he's already derailed it at number 2. You could call it risky. Others would say it's more of a time sensitive bet.
Well, they would say, treasuries were billed as safe investments, right?
The asset isn't risky. The need to selling it, whether or not you need to sell it, that's where the risk lies. It's not the asset itself. I mean, there's this thing, it's super safe, but it's going to take 10 years. Do you call that risky or not?
No.
It's the fact that they needed to sell it, which was risk, which means that's more about their
why did they
management style and why it was such a high percentage devoted to these risk, what they're calling a risky asset or a risky bet. Well, it's not, the bet itself isn't risky though.
In SVB's defense, they bought a bunch of these treasuries when it was super low interest rates, and then the Fed was just like, hey, guess what? Burn! And then they jacked them up. They didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, but they're also, they were encouraged to by the government.
They were encouraged to.
What he was laying out in that tweet, though, I mean, if you're going to indict that, then in many ways you're indicting the economic system that we've based Western civilization on and global trade for the past 200 to 300 years.
Bingo.
I mean, going back into the 1600s, it was considered immoral to loan money at a percentage because that was usury. That was
halal.
Sure.
But I was just about to say that.
At the end of the day, though, it was the percentage of exposure to long-term debt I mean,
there's huge details that way.
I mean, I
absolutely.
think just a little bit tighter management and say, hey, maybe not 50% of our assets, maybe 5% of our assets. None of this would have been an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, maybe they couldn't have had marble floors at the corporate office, because they're like, oh, we actually have to tighten.
Well, then
your
what's
belts.
the point, DZ?
Why would you do that?
So, in my opinion, it should have stopped at step 4.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't every time you try to prevent every bad outcome, you create more bad outcomes. So we've baked in so much fragility, even more fragility into the system. There is no anti-fragility in banking whatsoever. The fragility in the banking system makes a house of cards look like the wall of China.
Yeah.
That's how fragile the current banking system is. And now we're just pushing more and more of that capital, that liquidity, all that debt, all those liabilities. We're pushing that more and more and more towards the big 4 banks. That's where all that's going. And all that's going to centralize, it is. And then when it breaks, it's going to be a central breakage instead of it being spread out over a larger system. So that is the inherent problem with centralized banking. I was telling my friend, we were having a little bit of an argument today. I said, look, he said, oh, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like late stage capitalism. I'm like, no, there is no such thing as capitalism in a country with a central bank.
Yeah.
If someone is controlling the levers of liquidity and capital artificially in a central way, and it's not market forces that do that, then there is no true capitalism. You cannot have economic Darwinism. So, I grew up. That's what capitalism is. It's economic Darwinism.
I heard a good thesis statement on capitalism. It said unchecked capitalism always leads to stockholders incurring all of the value immediately. And so that you'll end up seeing that basically you have the whales come in, go into a company, I want to drain all the value, then they jump to the next company. And so, I mean, if you think about it, okay, that kind of trends true for me personally. The guys running banks are really incompetent. Erickson, here, I'll take the hat off for you for a second.
Hey.
That's for Erickson.
Hey,
He's the one
happy.
that leaves all the bald comments. Bald is beautiful. Bald is beautiful. The banks are, obviously there's incompetence here. But just to defend them, again, I'm not saying they're, know what they're doing. They all deserve Nobel Prizes. We increased interest rates higher in this 12-month period than any time ever in history. And so we're at an unprecedented level where no one has any kind of, there's no competence.
Even more than Volcker?
Competence was a little bit difficult when this is a undiscovered land that we're currently charting.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Love
I have
it.
a great quote here from John Adams.
Ooh.
It says, all the perplexities, confusion, and distress in America arise not from defects in their constitution or confederation, not from want of honor or virtue, so much as from the downright ignorance of the nature of coin, credit, and circulation.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. Printing, quadrupling the money supply. That's not why we have inflation. Yeah, this seems like just gross incompetence of what a coin is.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of flooding the speaking of money, let's look at Jerome Powell.
Hold on. Let me turn on the sound here.
Do I need to turn it off on my end?
No.
Okay.
Leave it on.
It's very loud.
Easy.
Ready?
Let's go.
Simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money digitally. And we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds or other government guaranteed securities. And that actually increases the money supply. We also print actual currency and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve banks.
Fair to say you
Look at his
simply
expression.
flooded the system with money.
Play again.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yes.
It's like,
Well, when you break it down like
it's
that.
like when I tell when I ask my son, did you poop your diaper? And he goes,
Yes.
yes. And it's deject, he's like hiding in the
yeah.
corner.
Well, you're
His face is
sitting
purple.
on the answer. He's been literally and figuratively sitting on the answer. So he's like he knows. Like, yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that. That's the vibe I got.
Yep, exactly. Why does he still keep going up for this job? Like he could have quit like 3 times by now.
Every time I see Jay Powell, this comes to mind right there.
Oh, Pepe.
Yeah.
All right.
Jay Powell.
All right.
A little bit of a resemblance there.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Digital asset investor says almost as if this was the plan all along. Interest rates could fuel the shift to a cashless world. Here's how. Oh, it's from the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Do you want to dig in?
Oh God. Risky click. Oh God. Where's this taking us?
As digital currencies become more popular, could we be seeing the end of cash? Boy, they want to do it. Shout out to Sweden. They apparently have a love affair with their own cash, and they just passed a bill that banned, or that permanently instated a certain amount of cash, and I believe they banned CBDCs.
What?
So there must be a certain amount of their liquidity must be in cash, like in physical cash.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Hang on, let me pull that up.
They're awesome.
That is.
Banned CBDC.
Was it Sweden? I think Sweden was in the farmers are blocking up their roads now because
I
of
think
the
that was in the Netherlands.
Was it in the Netherlands? I thought I saw Sweden.
Yeah.
Speaking of protests, France, all the Frenchies came out. One thing I respect the French heavily about is their ability to protest against tyrannical governments.
Yeah. Dude, they
raised
do it.
Those
retirement
yellow vest
age
people for like
to
6 months
64 from
Yeah.
62, and they're out there like fighting and screaming. You know,
Absolutely.
it's like you take away the soccer mom's guacamole. They are freaking out.
Yeah. Chat, it's the Netherlands. The Netherlands was the one that was talking about cash. Netherlands.
No, it was
cash.
the Netherlands for the farmers that were protesting. The government and Canada and a number, talk about getting back to the WEF, had put in very strict global warming, I think it was nitrogen limits, that was going to outlaw almost all of their fertilizer, which makes, I mean, basically we're talking about potential starvation and really running all these farmers out of business completely. Using farming tactics that they've used for the past 50, 60, 70 years.
That's exactly the program that they used in Sri Lanka, and there is now a famine in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And it caused the collapse of the government.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Weird.
That's
okay.
very odd. I had to derail.
All right, so they're like quoting ABBA, money, money, money.
Is that scanning thing for your iris right there?
No, that's just a lens. Calm down, Drew. Calm down.
All right.
However, okay, so this is kind of cringe.
It's for bird watching, Drew.
All right, I'll read this on my own time, but look, if the World Economic Forum is behind it,
it's bad.
It's bad. It's not good.
I just saw someone did a big deep dive on Greta Thunberg, Greta's mother, World Economic Forum, creation of these entities, the dates that of the first time she was photographed at certain protests, the dates of first time she was thrown in online journals or publications, and the owners of all these companies and creation of all these companies and the money being funneled in these companies and all the dates are matching, and you're like, oh wow, okay.
Yep.
So just go on Twitter, look up WEF Greta.
Wait a minute. Greta Thunberg and the global warming movement may not be organic and legitimately planned.
I know. It's hard to believe, because I know when I was in 7th grade, I was also
sure you don't have
taking the
tinfoil
world
under that
on
hat, my
by
friend?
storm with no help.
Hang on, I'm getting a call right now.
Oh
yeah,
TJ?
it's actually Hey, Klaus. Oh, sorry. Okay. Guys, we got to shut it down. We had a great show today. First of all, sell all your Bitcoin right now. And basically,
cash sucks, guys.
Yeah, cash is terrible.
Bugs are delicious.
Embrace the suck. You know who absolutely loves the World Economic Forum and will cook for them anytime? The XRP army.
Oh,
Throw an X up in the chat if you're mentally deficient. Okay, Arbitrum.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Arbitrum. What happened to the Arbitrum?
So this fantastic Arbitrum airdrop, Taco, give us the deets on how well this highly anticipated airdrop went.
Just like everyone else, you're like, all right, I've been doing stuff on Arbitrum. Let me check my eligibility. You're not eligible for anything.
What?
So I'm like, what the hell? I did like $10,000 of volume on their Vela exchange. It's just like a leverage trade on chain. I did smart contract swaps. I did everything that they wanted, and I don't qualify. So I hope they change something.
Someone in the chat, I don't know how accurate it was, but they said you had to interact with 2 different smart contracts within a 24-hour period. So that would make me, not able to participate, because I think also like Taco, I just participated within Vela and I didn't do 2 different protocols, which sucks. I didn't know that. I did all this stuff expecting.
I have a whole Arby scan page of transactions all within like 24 hours of each other.
Well, maybe the smart contract functionality maybe it doesn't mean specific, like each coin is a different one. Maybe it means like different types of protocols.
Rules
maybe you had to
unclear.
do Vela plus a different
Exactly,
one.
Drew. Rules unclear. They just had like little like one-liners and no description. So maybe I'll go back in and try, but I'm kind of upset.
I think it was a smokescreen to avoid SEC scrutiny.
Yeah.
So just so they can say, "Oh, we did an airdrop."
And then
yeah.
I also thought maybe it's because I didn't have a VPN on. That didn't do anything. So
Well, thanks to the SEC, we get wonderful memes like this.
I just got my girl to start watching Star Wars last week. We are now all the way in. Now we're going to do episode Empire Strikes Back tonight. Or maybe tomorrow.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. We did Mandalorian, so we did it a little out of order, but now
That's
we're mostly
okay.
doing it in order. So
Okay.
episode 1, 2, 3, Obi-Wan.
Or you can do Rogue One in the middle.
We skipped Rogue One.
We
skipped Rogue One and we skipped Solo.
What?
That's
no
fine.
Solo.
You could probably do Rogue One after Empire and it would still all click. That would be dope.
I introduced my daughter to the original trilogy, and that's all. I might do the 3 prequels.
I feel like Jar Jar Binks is made for children.
Yeah, I think she'd be okay with it.
If you are the enterprising type, you can find it online. Tobey Maguire recut the prequels, and they are very good.
What?
Tobey Maguire is a big time Star Wars nerd, and he actually spent the time to recut the entire prequels, and they are very, very good. The Tobey Maguire cut. Find it.
Eric, I got her convinced by Baby Yoda. It was all about
Gateway
Mandalorian.
drug.
Mandalorian was the Trojan horse. So I was
Gateway
like,
drug.
everyone loves Baby Yoda. You'll love Baby Yoda.
Yep.
Look how cute. It's a well-designed character. And,
It is.
You know,
All
and
right.
also she likes Pedro Pascal. So we went from Last of Us,
Who doesn't?
fan of him, and then it was like, hey, he's also Mandalorian, and that's the show with the baby. You'll like it.
Who doesn't?
Banners maketh.
It's hard to not like Baby Yoda.
It's true.
Grogu.
It's really, Grogu. Yeah, he's top tier. Okay. Speaking of top tier, Doodles,
Oh man.
they threw in the towel.
Oh,
They're like,
man.
actually, you know what? Web3, get fucked. We're no longer an NFT project.
God.
We won't cater to speculators. He's trying to sound all hoity-toity, high and mighty. I knew people who paid a lot of money
Hey,
for
real
these
quick,
things.
guess what the guy's name is?
Poopy.
Poopy.
His name is Poopy?
Yeah.
A man named Poopy. Okay, your project is run by a guy named Poopy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Bullish
Is that
for Web3.
There it
I mean,
is.
For
Right.
Web3, it's bullish. Yeah. He is doxxed. I'll give him that. Jordan Poopy Castro,
Jesus.
right
This isn't
there.
real.
Yeah, shared a post on Discord,
red
said,
flags
yeah,
here for
we're, I don't know.
He's Trudeau's cousin.
What?
Like Gary Trudeau from Doonesbury.
Ooh.
Dude, Baby Yoda does
Okay,
not
as an-
approve.
Oh, good PTZ pickup, Drew. +1 in the chat for Drew.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
That was a
stuff.
good grab.
It took him 40 seconds.
I did. Yeah,
So
I mean,
Taco and
I'm a
DZ
boomer almost. so.
Taco and DZ are our NFT experts here. I am a huge Avalanche Pepe's whale, but I don't know anything about
All right,
NFTs.
so Doodles rugged question mark. As people asking. So
No.
what he said is, we are no longer an NFT project. That's what you're seeing. But what you don't see is comma. We are a multi-million-dollar media company. And so I understand his positioning. It was taken out of context. It's not the best tweet. He also got a little adversarial in his Discord. Someone said, hey, I'm kind of disappointed. I don't remember the exact sentiment. It was snarky. It was shitty. And he said, floor it and get the fuck out. Excuse my language.
sad.
Floor it
Whoa.
means like just put a really, really low price and just get out of this project and just leave. So, he's bristled a little. The hairs are up on the back of his neck maybe. But his sentiment is we're bigger than an NFT project, but I don't think the NFT community likes that. I think they like being an NFT project.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, not to mention they raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and one of the utilities that they gave their community is they got to buy digital socks.
What? No way.
Yeah, but if you have all 12 of the types of socks, you get free golden socks.
Mm.
Were they
Okay.
clean or dirty?
Someone had gold jizz. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know. I don't
I'm
know
not
why
an
they hold
NFT guy,
socks
but
on.
maybe you guys can help me out as an NFT
Probably not.
Probably not.
community. Well, when I discovered that for like 99% of NFTs, the actual content in the image isn't actually stored to the blockchain. It's just
Yeah,
metadata
IPFS,
done by
or IPFS.
IPF, which is like interplanetary file system,
yeah.
which is the most non-girlfriend having nerd name I could ever think of.
Yeah.
But so, because that's what happened with the FTX NFTs as well.
Yeah.
That people still have the NFT. You got your placeholder. That's great. But the image that it was pointing to were then just all gone.
They're not on IPFS. The Solana ones were on AWS.
It's a semantic issue. It's like, there's
See,
a
I'm
lot
curious,
of, there's
I'm
a
not an NFT
huge,
guy.
like the whole entirety of this information is stored on the IPFS or IFPS. And so you can look at it. Amazon isn't a perfect analogy, so I understand that. Imagine 20 years in the future, Amazon literally is 99.9% of web traffic. Then you have some sort of art-based website, and then it's like a nerd pushing his glasses up and saying, actually, Jeff Bezos' grandson owns that.
Yep.
Technically correct, but the whole entire industry is used to this format, is used to the standard, and it's more akin to HTML than it is to Amazon Web Services.
But I guess part of the concern is that the selling point of NFTs is that you own that image. You own this thing, and if it can, by a third party, just be made to go away at another time. Unless it's written to the blockchain. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding it too.
It's like deleting the entire
yes
internet.
And
almost.
no. So the centralized server holds the image, but you still own the piece of the blockchain that's associated with it, with the collection.
You have the window that no one else owns.
Yeah, my understanding is pointing to the metadata.
And
but
then
the
also,
metadata, I mean, whoever created that NFT can go in and just.
But like the whole industry is cool with you only owning the window. No one really cares that you don't own the star that's outside your window. It's like, well, I'm the only one who can like look at this constellation. Well, technically, you don't own the solar celestial body. Okay, sure.
So that's like one way to do NFTs. There's also on-chain NFTs.
That's what I was trying to understand.
So it lives on-chain, and if you notice, it's
an
not,
Ethereum issue. It's the entire blockchain of Ethereum. Other blockchains don't have that issue.
Yep.
Just like
so it's
like Avalanche.
So like these new ones on Bitcoin, it's on-chain because it's stored in the block and on this single
and that's the
Satoshi.
huge difference then, because if it's on chain, it can't. It's
Correct.
then it is immutable.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Question. Go ahead, Taco.
Well, I was just gonna say, so like, if you were to store this all on chain, it's gonna require a lot of data. So that's why the images that you usually see on chain are all
It's cheaper and easier
pixelated.
that way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So floor price of Doodles has tanked 29% over the
that
past couple days.
I thought that's
Yeah, there it is.
People
over there.
don't like the news that they're hearing about their founder just kind of saying like, we don't want to focus on Web3.
But he's giving them socks.
He did say floor and GTFO.
Floor and G. So
I mean-
is this a buy opportunity?
don't
I
know.
actually put the tweet out asking the community, is this a buy? Is this a sell? Is this a do nothing? Or like, what the hell is a doodle in the first place?
What is this, like $6,000?
I mean, at least it's named
Like
accurately.
3 ETH or 3.5 ETH. So maybe like 7-8 grand.
Okay.
I think at one point they were like 15 ETH. So that's what everyone's comparing it to, is like peak bull market prices. Like mutant apes were 40, moonbirds were up there in the 20s,
What's the
doodles were
activity
up
up there?
there, CloneX was up there. So now everyone is comparing what it was to what it is now.
It's 5K-ish. I could see over the next 2 years you getting 5K in airdrops. I don't think it would be that hard to imagine.
Okay.
So to me, if it's a good opportunity for like a corporate entity or someone who like really has a lot of money that's in the content creation business, I wouldn't just do it to flip or to hold, because I think to try to get your money back, you're going to need like some sort of companion thing. You'll need this, maybe a doodle coin. And then you fast forward 36 months, you're like, oh, well, I made 8K. But then, maybe you could have just done some leverage trading and, quadruple that or something.
Gotcha.
But I think it also speaks volumes to how their founder is handling all this. You don't see like Yuga Labs founders trash talking their holders, telling them to floor it and get out of the Discord. No one wants you here. Like, no, they'll probably try and like help you and talk to you.
Yeah, they'd silently ban you. And not
Here's a perfect example. So yesterday they had the summoning and there were some issues with the metadata. Some of them were supposed to have these things called companions, and it was messed up on the back end and what it showed. So people got worried and they sold them. So Yuga Labs came out and they're like, hey, if anybody like did this, sold by accident, thinking that it was one thing, but it was really an error on our part, we will refund you and we will make you whole. So right away they were on it and they made it right away.
There's a reason they say never fade Yuga.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think Doodles is trying to be a Yuga?
Yeah, I think every high-level NFT project sees what happened with Yuga and is saying that is something to replicate. If they're not, they're like full-blown the other direction. They're more like a Goblin Town, and they would shy away from a collab with Nike. If I'm putting $100 in something, I don't care what you do. You be a full degen, you could smoke crack rocks with the money that I gave you.
Wow.
But if an NFT is worth $20,000, I think that's the floor for a mutant. That's my most expensive NFT. then you expect different things from that NFT. You expect different things from the project founder. There's just more blow up risk, and you don't want them to absolutely tank the brand where it can never be on a Super Bowl commercial. Versus if I bought something for $100, I'm not expecting it to be on a Super Bowl commercial. So yeah, Moon, go in the Discord and show your butthole. Gape. I really don't care.
Wow.
Bullish.
But yeah, if I saw Garga.eth doing that, Gordon Goner, I'd be like, whoa, now I'm thinking about selling my mutant.
Butthole pics were the NFT of 2000s.
Yeah.
And kind of on the same subject, they launched something, a Doodles 2 or something on Flow, which requires KYC. It's all like enclosed.
That's the Google chain, right? Flow? I'm pretty sure that's Alphabet.
I think they have a lot of biz dev relationships.
So that pretty much just put another wrench in the whole situation because people don't want a KYC if they're kind of trying to be unanimous, anonymous on online.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't use Flow. I don't really like it just for that reason.
Interesting.
Back to what we were talking about 10 minutes ago. So now that none of us are getting the Arbitrum airdrop and most of it's going to insiders, are you guys going to buy a bag? Me, I'll watch the price action. I'll probably wait for Bitcoin to dip, and then I'll scale in a little bit.
What's the tokenomics of it? We didn't even know yet.
I don't care.
I'm totally buying Arbitrum when it's available, and not immediately, like you said. It's going to have that initial spike, but yeah, I'm going to definitely pick up a
Is your
bag.
thought that it's a next Solana because it is like a VC-backed coin, or has that sort of
Yeah,
support?
I mean, it's just got a lot of hype, a lot of pumpamentals. A lot of chains are already using it. So, and obviously you have everything in the news about people trying to get the airdrop ahead of time. Now, when the token gets released, I'm sure it'll look very similar to earlier releases. And so, yeah, as DZ said, when Bitcoin takes a momentary dip, it'll probably drop by 20 or 30%. And I'll start building my bag.
I'm not buying that first 10-minute candle.
No, hell no.
I don't think anyone here is.
I'll probably wait a week, see how it evens out.
Isn't Arbitrum going to go with like ZK rollups and
I don't know.
Like
no
scalability that way?
At the end of the day, like the communities don't care.
Well, the reason I bring it up is
especially
because
for a coin like this.
There's like 3 other ones that are coming out. I mean, all of
ZK
them kind of doing the
rollups,
same thing.
Optimistic rollups.
Base, from Coinbase.
Well, they're not going to have their own token. They're just going to
allegedly.
Allegedly,
they will not.
Allegedly,
they will. They would. They that would be the biggest fu middle finger to Gary Gensler. They're basically begging for a lawsuit at that point.
Yeah. I got a base NFT and it keeps morphing into something new like every week. Pretty interesting. I don't know what's going on there.
They're
but
updating the metadata.
Yeah, something's happening. It started as 4 circles and then now it's hundreds. Ooh, that was fun.
Nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all the time we have for Blockchain Basement. We're going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great weekend.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St.
Thanks
Patty's
for having me
Day.
back again, guys.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Elias from WWE. We had a superstar here. It feels great.
Yeah.
He's more Jack.
Yeah. Razmataz, Crimson Caravan, Rug Gang, Jen Jones, Manawak, Smokey, 7100, Mr. Techno Goody, JP Highball, Praveen Tumar, Enigma, Gary, Shanksy, Burned by Saitama. I'm Down with Unicorns. Thanks. Smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. And we'll see you at the top. Appreciate you.